And now, from beyond our dimension, this is the JeffMara podcast. Here's Jeff.
My guest is Maria Mirkovich, host and producer of the television program Family Today. Maria had a paranormal experience in the hills of Medjugorje, and today we're going to learn about it. Maria, thank you so much for being my guest today, and welcome.
Thank you, Jeff. It's a delight to be here with you. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Well, let's start here, Maria. What is so special about Medjugorje in the first place?
Okay, so I'm going to give you briefly a little background story of Medjugorje. So in 1981, in June, there were 6 kids walking along Bosnia-Herzegovina, and the place, the little village was called Medjugorje. So they were walking along, and all of a sudden they saw a big light in the sky. It illuminated them. And then they saw a figure floating above them. And the figure told them, "I am the mother of Jesus, and I am sent by God." So this course really predicated for all their lives was never the same. It changed their lives completely. And those of the people that went there too. It changed a lot of people's lives because there were a lot of occurrences of healing and so on. So we went to Croatia that 1999, I guess 10 years after that. We went to Croatia, and I said to my husband and family, I said, let's go to Bosnia-Herzegovina and to Medjugorje to see at this place, the sacred space. So we did. We went from Newark, New Jersey. We took a plane to go to France, and then the connecting flight will be in Split, to go to Split. And so we did that, but we were retained. It was late. Our flight was late. So we arrived in Split one day after, I believe, yes. And so we checked in this hotel previously. We didn't have any cell phones at that time, so we just, called up beforehand. And so at the desk, I said, we didn't get our luggages because maybe of the delayed in the flight. So I'm giving you my info so you could know that it's us, that we, our luggages are not here. And So the lady next to me, she overheard me say that we're going to Medjugorje after. And she said, "Oh my God," she said, "this is a typical story. A lot of people lose their baggage. I guess it's the personal baggage before they enter the sacred place." So I said, "Well, that makes sense. That makes sense to me." So anyway, the next day we got up, our luggages did arrive. And my mother, she had a package from the States to give to a nun nearby convent. So we did that. We walked to the convent the next day. We went to Mass first, and then we went to the convent. It was nearby, and it was a big convent. It was like a castle, historical looking. So we rang the doorbell, and this nun answered very politely, very nice. She goes, "Oh yes, we've been waiting for you. Come in, please, have a seat." And so we did, and so she gave us a little tea, and she said to wait there, that she will get Sister Maria, who we were looking for. My mother was looking for her to give her the package. And she goes, "Just a minute, I'll be right back." And in the meantime, there was on the opposite side, there was stairs, about five stairs. A man came down, about 30. He looked like Jesus, as they depict him. Of course, any artist will depict Jesus differently, but he did give me that impression to all of us. And he had long hair, he had a dark beard, he smiled to us, but what jumped up, I go, "Oh my God, what is that?" There was a bandage on his forehead, and there was a sign of the cross, and it was bleeding. So I said, "Oh my God, what is this?" And so he smiled at us, and he blessed us, and he went on the opposite side. So when the 2 nuns came down, especially Sister Stella, the one that my mother was looking for to give her the gift, I said that, I shared that with her, and I said, this man, so and so, and this is what happened. She goes, oh my God, you were not supposed to see him. I said, really? I said, why not? She goes, because he had a council meeting just now, and there were people from Rome, priests and other people, lay people, and people that wanted to authenticate his stigmata. That was it. That was the stigmata that we were so, we looked at each other and said, what was that all about? But my mother, she didn't see him, and he was two feet away from us. She was looking directly at him, sipping her coffee, and I got, Mom, you gotta be kidding me. Even my kids were laughing. They go, Nona, you did see that man. She goes, no, I didn't. So I shared this with the nuns, and they said, very interesting. She goes to me, the nun that opened the door for us. She said, maybe your mom wasn't supposed to see him. And so it goes, and that was a little mystery there too. So anyway, there was a taxi waiting for us, and the nuns invited us to see a little hospital that they had in the convent. They said, please visit them. These are kids that are infirm. So we said, okay, we will go. We prayed with them, and my mother left them a little gift to the kids. It was very sad to see. But then the taxi was waiting for us, and we went. So we went to the hills of Medjugorje. Oh my God, it was so scary. The ride was the winding roads, it was so dangerous. But we got there. We got to the house of Marinko. He was like a bed and breakfast type of he had a house, and he shared it with the guests. And he was recommended to us by others because they said it's better that you go to a family. It's more humble, it's more spiritual, that you could at least share things when you're eating and stuff like that. And Marinko's very good with the people. He was known, so we weren't scared or anything like that we were going to a place that we didn't know. And there were only about 2-3 hotels at that time. I don't think they were building too many hotels at that time, maybe 2 or 3. But we were delighted to be at Marinko's house. He made us feel so at home. So anyway, we wanted to go by the Church of St. James. And outside the courtyard, when we went there was a scent of roses. And me and my husband didn't smell it. We didn't have that odor. We didn't have it. So the rest of my family did. They had a lot of, they said it was a deep, it was deep, the smell of the roses, that they were smelling roses, and there was no rose bush nearby there. And so I go, okay, well, I didn't smell anything. And I have a gift of smell, like I could smell, I can sense, I'm an empath, I feel things. And then we go back to Marinko's. And so when we had dinner, they gave us the bedroom. They said, okay, now you can put your luggages away. And so we did. And the kids started complaining because their bedrooms, they didn't have a toilet, bathroom in there by their bedroom. So they complained about that. They didn't feel comfortable with that. My mother laughed because she goes, I was brought up like that. Don't worry about that. It's okay. So after dinner, it was a nice cooked meal that they gave us. We wanted to stretch our legs a little bit, and then we went outside. It was so dark, but the stars were so bright and beautiful. And I said, oh my God, this is really a nice place to be in. And there were 2 silhouettes approaching us. And I said, who is that coming from the big mountain? There were this kid, there were 2 kids, a boy and a girl, and they were about 19. And they stopped with us. They said, oh, hi. They were from, I believe they said Ohio. I'm not sure now. And they started talking to us. And I said, we didn't come with a group like other people do. So we don't know the schedule. We're going along as we're, seeing things, and one day at a time. And so he was, no sweat. He goes, tomorrow's mass schedule is so, this and this time. And one of the visionaries, Vichka, she's going to have a talk at this time. So now you have the schedule for tomorrow. I said, okay, thank you very much. And so we did. We went the next day. We went to to mass, and then we went to Vichka's, the visionary, one of the visionaries talk. And she, when we arrived there were hundreds of people, and somehow we made room for us to attend. And when I saw her face, she looked directly at me. It was like she came, I never felt that before. She really came to my mind and my eyes, and very impressionable. And of course, the message was to convert our hearts and minds. That was the message. And so we went back to Marinko's house because it was really hot at this time now. And we had a little lunch, and then decided at 4 p.m. we're going to go out again and take some pictures, and we're going to wrap it up and stuff like that. So we went at 4 p.m. We went outside again, and we went to some shops. We went to get some Turkish coffee, and so we started walking, and the kids were taking pictures. My mother was praying the rosary, and we went to a little hill. We walked, and then there was a plateau. We reached a plateau, and we said, okay, let's turn around. Let's look at the sights, and we did, and. So all of a sudden, Gina and my son said, Mom, when are we gonna go to Croatia so we could go to the ocean and start our vacation? So I said, okay, maybe one more day, just have a little more patience, and that's it. So Gina, she was going up and taking pictures. She went, oh my God. And we all looked up, and there was a sun spinning so rapidly. It was unbelievable. It was really unbelievable. And then we saw Gina doing this. She was smiling. She was talking to somebody. I think she was in a trance. I don't think she was aware of us. And we just were just there looking and felt the presence. But then when Gina fell almost to a big rock, we wanted to go to her and, of course, pick her up. And that's when we knew that we could not move. We cannot move. This never happened to me before in my life. So I was just, something in me said, and I'm a very nervous person. I don't, my kids are my kids. I love them. I would die for them. Somebody said to me very lovingly, very comforting, don't worry, your daughter's okay. And I felt it, and I was just there waiting and looking at Gina's, like she had a conversation. And then when it was all over in 2-3 minutes, my mother said, why when Gina fell on the floor, why didn't we go to help her? I couldn't move, but I'm older. Why didn't you? And then Christopher said, you know what? None of us, we said to each other, none of us could move, but we didn't know of each other. We didn't know that. So when everything happened, we said, okay, I couldn't move. My husband couldn't move. Christopher could not move. My mother couldn't move. Obviously, she was yelling. And then Christopher said, that makes a lot of sense, because he saw a bright pink light over us, holding us back. I guess holding us back so we don't move. I can't explain it, but it's explainable why we couldn't move to go to her aid, to go to my daughter's aid. And so Gina said that she saw, when she came to, she saw a cloud just parting, and she said there was the Madonna, our Blessed Mother, with 2 angels on the side. She didn't see their faces, but she had a feeling they were angels. And she said that at first she was smiling to her and showing her good things. And then, like a movie, she showed her a lot of destruction. And she saw a lot of kids needing help. And she said that she almost saw like a lava and fire. So we said, oh my, we didn't know what to make of it. We were really very shocked, surprised. We couldn't shake the feeling. So on the opposite side, there was a woman and a man. There was like about 3 people approaching on the other side. They were moving towards the the other side of us in a group. I guess they were coming with a group, and the lady waved to me and she said, "Oh, hi." And I said, "Oh, hi, you speak English? Okay, hi, hi." And she said, "Did you know that this was the apparition hill?" I said, "No, we didn't. None of us knew that." She goes, "Yes, this is the apparition hill. We're going to continue. We're going to see you later." And we were like shocked we said, "Oh my God, we didn't even know this hill was the apparition hill." And it's really making me, I have goosebumps. So there it was. It was a paranormal experience, and I experienced a few things other than that, but this was the one thing that really stood out, and it was very abnormal than this reality, what we call the earth plane. So we went back to Marinko, and he said, "You have a very unusual story, but there's a lot of healing and stories almost like that. But you had a very powerful one," Marinko said to us. So, and this is with us for a long, long time. We always pray the rosary together. We always mention to Our Lady, and we bless. We bless each and all the people that go there by our intention. But like I said, Gina had a telepathic communication with Our Lady, and we kept us sacred for many, many years.
If we go back to when you saw the man that looked like Jesus in I guess it was at the monastery?
Yes, at the monastery.
Are you saying that was Jesus that you saw?
I don't think so. It was Father Zlatko Sudac. Now I know it. But he had the stigmata, and he later had the stigmata on his hands and on his feet, just like St. Francis of Assisi and Padre Pio.
All right, let me stop you there. What is a stigmata?
I don't know. I really don't. I never looked into it, but we encountered this priest that had it. That has it. He still has it. I don't know. I never researched it.
So this guy was a priest from the monastery that he dressed up like Jesus?
No. It appeared to us that he looked like Jesus as he's depicted on some pictures. And yes, there was an aura about him. That he almost looked like Jesus. Even my mother said, "Oh my God, there was that." She didn't see him. My mother didn't see him, but we said that he looked like Jesus. We said that to her. It did, I don't think it was Jesus. I don't think so. Maybe it was. I really don't know. Because the nun said you were not supposed to see him, and I'm very surprised that you did.
Did they say why?
Because he wasn't supposed to be the council meeting that he had that day. They said and they suggested that he doesn't see anybody. It was very strict that he doesn't see anybody before the meeting. So she said, "I don't know how you saw him, but you did, and your mother didn't." I said, "No, she didn't." And she was looking right up to him, and she didn't. She said that she didn't, and we thought she was kidding.
So who appeared above your daughter? And what she saw was the Virgin Mary and two angels?
She said that, yes.
Yeah.
My daughter said it was the Virgin Mary and the two angels beside her. And she smiled to her and she greeted her. And she said, these kids need help, as she started showing her what's going on in the world. Maybe it was child trafficking. I don't know. I really don't know why. A lot of kids she saw. And like a lava coming down. And then Gina, okay, I forgot this part. Gina telepathically said, that's when she started weeping very deeply, which I never heard her cry in my lifetime, except for that time before. Not in front of me anyway, but that was a deeper cry. And it was very, she was very sad. So she related to the Madonna telepathically that she doesn't want to see anymore. She couldn't. That's when she fell. I think that's when she fell. Yes. She didn't see anymore. Her heart was aching for that. initially she saw that it was the Blessed Virgin Mary.
After this experience, how did it change Gina, or how did it affect her?
Oh, very much, very much. She not because she's my daughter, she was always a good person. But this time I saw her, she prays 3 rosary a day. She goes to church every day for mass. I don't do the same. She's very kind and loving. She doesn't talk about other people negatively. It changed her in a lot of ways where she's prayerful and very respectful of Jesus's mother. Very respectful and very dedicated to her.
From your viewpoint, it just looked like a bright light above your daughter. Is that correct?
Yeah. And we felt the presence, all of us. Only we couldn't move. We just couldn't move.
How did you change after this experience?
My change, I think I started taking things a little bit easier. I started looking at my own self more and work with my issues and started to see others in a better way and maybe a loving way more. I think I became more conscious of this reality and the other realities that are really, for me, I believe in other realities, other worlds, other phenomena, other things. For me, it's a very very true feeling of other realities.
This happened like over 20 years ago. Why did it take you so long to tell us about it?
It took me so long because, to tell you the truth, I am a very private person. It doesn't appear that way because a lot of people judge me differently, and I say, okay, whatever your perception is of me, it's okay. But I was asked to tell the story, and I just didn't. But there was a few people that I told the story to, and they told me that you should have this testimony, especially with your television show. I was doing Mondo Italiano at that time. I was transferring one language to the other. Even the news, I had the prompter and everything. So they said, why don't you tell the story? And I often thought about it, and I started writing the story, but I didn't come out and do it, except for one time. The director that I was working with Mondo Italiano, he told me to have an opening for my segment, like a poetry or some kind of wording or even a song. So I went with a song, and my kids and my son was playing the acoustic guitar, and we started one night. We said, okay, let's just do it, and then we called it illumination because we saw the illumination in the sky when Gina had this experience in Medjugorje, and so we started with the song, and we went to record it right away, and we brought it to the studio, and we put it on for the viewers to see and hear, and then I gave him a little bit of an interview, which was maybe 2 minutes, and I think he did share about the scent of roses. Christopher, my son. And that's about all. He didn't go into the story because there was no time. They only gave him 2 minutes. And so, and like I said before, I started writing it in a book, but I always retained it. I never wanted to let go of it until today.
Well, lucky me.
No, because your show came, I'm a big YouTuber, more than television, to say the least. I love to relax with the YouTube, and you came on and I said, wait a minute, I'm interested in this. And so you had a lot of stories of NDEs, and I go, wow, this is really, and your viewers are not judgmental, like, oh my God, the Christians, they were very, I said, oh my God, these people are very open-minded. So maybe I should have an interview with, if he would have me, Jeff, that would be a beautiful thing, and I could share this story, and here we are now.
When you went to Medjugorje, were you hoping or expecting to have some kind of paranormal experience?
I did not look for anything at all, nothing at all. I wasn't expecting anything. That's just it. You asked me a good question. I never thought that we were going to experience anything. Just to see the place. Like I said, Nikola Tesla was his birthplace was nearby. The Bosnian pyramids. I said, let's go see this place first, and then maybe later we could see the other places when we have more time, because we wanted to go to Croatia too, my birthplace, and never expected anything. Even in my prayer groups, I heard people say they had healings, the rosary turned into gold, and I was skeptical. I didn't presume anything.
Yeah.
This was a very, very shocking event for us.
Yeah.
Shocking. I think we were blessed to have this.
Have you or anybody in your family, especially Gina, do they have any new abilities that they didn't have before, like psychic abilities or anything?
I think I'm going to speak for Gina, but I think she does psychic abilities. And I think that we like when I have a thought, she picks it up to me, and she even calls me. She says, "Mom, did you want to call me? Did you want to say something?" And she says things, this is private. The very thing that I wanted to tell her, she tells me. And likewise, my husband had an accident about 4 weeks ago in the snow. He was walking towards our house, the door, and he slipped, and his ankle got fractured, not broken, fractured. And what was I going to say? And just before that, I was on the couch thinking, I said, Andrew should be home already. And something here told me he fell out of the blue. And I think, I don't want to sound silly or anything, but I think I developed a lot of psychic abilities too. Only, you know what? We shut them down. I believe with myself, I shut mine down because, you're embarrassed, or you don't want to stand out. This is how I feel. I don't want people to say, "Oh my God, look at her ego." And it's not an ego. It's a spiritual thing, but still, there's a lot of people, not like your audience. Your audience accepts everything, everyone. And that's beautiful.
Has this affected you in any way as a TV host?
Maybe a little bit. Yes, because even the song Illumination, just now that you asked, comes to mind. And that has been playing for over 20 years now. I still have the show for 20 years.
Wow, it's amazing.
Well, yeah.
That's fantastic.
But there was an instance that my mother told me about her mother passing, and I was always intrigued with that. In Croatia, the little island where I was born, people died in their deathbeds at home because there was not a hospital in the island. They had to take a boat to go to Mali Loši, which was the other island. And then even a bigger one was Fiume, Rijeka, because there was no hospitals at that time. So people died in their deathbeds at home. So my mother said to me, she goes, when her mom was dying, just like in a blink of an eye, just 1 second before, she said, "Oh my God, look at my family. They came for me. Look at them." And she was extending her hand to them and saying, "Can't you see them? They came for me, my parents, my brother." And that chilled me. That always, I was intrigued by that story. But then there was another story that my mother told me about this man, and a lot of people know him in my community, the Croatian people. He had a store, and he was sick. He was bedridden, and then he couldn't walk. But the moment he was gonna die, he got up from his bed. He walked to the window. He opened it wide, and he said, "Look at the courtyard. Look to his family." He said, "Look, they came for me. I'm going to the next world. I'm going to Jesus. Look, they came to get me." So that intrigued me too as a little girl when my mother talked about this. And there were various stories about that in the island. Only, you know what, when you hear it so much, it wasn't that unusual for the people, especially, my mother's age.
I don't know if you saw the episode with Nurse Julie or hospice nurse Julie, but I think it's pretty common that people have that same type of experience as they're getting close to moving on to the next dimension.
Yes, for sure, for sure. There was an incident too when I was 14 years old. My mother and father decided to go to Croatia for vacationing, and we went there, Susak. It's called Susak, my island, and so the girls there said, "Okay, so you don't swim in the deep waters." I said, "No, I'm so afraid. Don't even think about that." So one day we were all gathered together, about 20 of us. And this girl pulls me up. She said, "Be careful because somebody might throw you in the deep water." And I said, "That's not going to happen to me. I'm too conscious of myself." No, I don't think so. And this water was very deep that, big boats docked nearby there. So I was talking to a girl and, was excited about my bathing suit and all of a sudden, boom, my cousin pushed me right to the water, and I went down 2 or 3 times, and I was gasping for air, and I thought to myself, "Oh my God, I'm dying. I don't know. Oh my God!" And then there was a bright light that brought me up, pushed me up. I didn't see anybody, but there was a light that pushed me up. But the 2 girls kept saying, "You're pulling us down, Maria, with you. Don't, you're going down. You're pulling us down." And all of a sudden, with that light, I went up, and I was coughing water, and they brought me to the dock, and they took the what do you call it? They took that Bravo.
Maybe it was your guardian angel helping you out.
Yes, I believe that. I wanted to say it, but I was embarrassed to say it. Oh. I believe that, yes.
At first, I was thinking you were having an NDE, but then I don't think you lost consciousness. You just saw that light. So that's what
I did.
I think it was just like maybe a spirit was helping you get back up.
Yes, that I know. And I know I was gasping for air, and I knew I wasn't going to do it anymore, that something has to happen. Otherwise, I was going to die or something. But I didn't. I don't believe I lost consciousness. I really don't.
Yeah.
That was a long time ago, too. So.
All right.
But they took credit. The girls took credit.
Oh, they took the credit.
I feel better, and I thanked them. Of course, I thanked them. They go, "Oh my God, you were pulling us down with you," because my fear. I didn't float up like other people because my fear was. I don't know. I went down. It was so deep. The water was so deep.
Yeah.
So, but I made it, and I think it could have been my guardian angel. I often thought about that, and you said that before me. Thank you for that.
Sure. You hear about people having these experiences where they see the Virgin Mary in some way, and it's interesting to meet somebody face to face, at least virtually, that actually had one.
We had the presence. We felt the presence. And like I said, we were not moving. We were just not moving. What's the word I'm wanting to use?
You're paralyzed.
Paralyzed. Thank you. Yes. Thank you.
Why do you...
I'll never forget.
Why do you think you were paralyzed?
This is my perception. Maybe... Our Lady or the higher power didn't want us to complicate things.
Yeah, maybe not to interfere.
To go near, maybe that vision was supposed to be just for Gina, but we felt it. We definitely felt it.
Why do you think she chose Gina?
That's a good question. Maybe because she was tired of being there. I don't know. I really don't know. Yes, that's a good question. Maybe I should ask her. Maybe because she was pure-minded. Not that she's my daughter, but she prayed a lot even before the presence, the visit.
You didn't see any lights.
I saw the spinning of the sun.
Okay.
It was incredulous. It was really...
Would you say it was like a giant orb above your daughter when you say the spinning of the sun? It was like a big spinning ball of light?
I don't know what an orb is. What is an orb?
An orb is like, a ball of light. People see them. I can't tell you how big they are because I don't know. But people see like balls of light around them. And some people think that those are actual people,
see the orb.
energy.
I just saw the sun spinning in a degree that
Now,
Unbelievable.
do you mean like our sun in the sky spinning, or a sun-like ball of light above your daughter spinning?
The sky, because we all looked up,
Oh.
and there was a bright light of the sun. Yes.
All right. Well, if people want to chit chat with you and ask you questions or talk to you about this, are you open to that? And if so, how can they contact you?
They could. I'm a life coach too. I coach people. They could reach me at my website is www.familytodaywithmariamirkovich.tv. But my email is, because it has to be revised, my email. My email is mmirkovich1@icloud.com. So they could reach me there. Even my Facebook. I have a group that is called Family Life and Healing. And then I have the television show. And then I also have my regular Facebook. They could reach me there by messenger.
All right.
If they wish.
All right. Sounds great.
Yeah.
Right.
I'm delighted to answer some of the questions that they could have for me.
All right, Maria. Well, before we finish up, can you leave us with one last positive message?
To be more conscious, to expand our consciousness, to expand our love, and to be kind to one another. Because the consciousness is expanding, then you're more open to different realities.
Maria, thank you for that message, and thank you again for being my guest today. I really appreciate you, and I wish you the best.
Thank you so much, Jeff. Thank you.
Thanks for watching the JeffMara podcast. I really appreciate you. Another way to show support is through YouTube memberships. And if you do, there are loyalty badges and other perks depending on your level of membership. All you need to do is click the join button underneath the video to find out more. Thank you for your support.